let Shane jump off of however high that fucking stage thing was.
How do you do that?
I love Shane.
How the fuck is Shane the boss man's son, and he's a fucking nutcase? Why do they let him do it? He's not trained in anything.
I don't think so, but yet he's the best member of that family.
Yeah, that's true. Well, picture him like he's like it's like he's a little kid. Like, oh yeah, little Timmy, you're 6 years old. Go ahead and climb the Titantron. Yeah, you do it. Drop an elbow on the Undertaker from 20, 30, 50 feet in the air. Jesus. Remember when Steve Blackman and like they were climbing up the Titantron? I was watching these on YouTube a while back. This compilation of Shane McMahon crazy shit. And Shane McMahon is stupid ass. Is quote unquote running from Steve Blackman by climbing up one of those really long ass, like really tall poles for cameras or whatever. He's climbing up it to get away from Steve Blackman. Steve Blackman has a fucking kendo stick in his hand. He's climbing up there too. And he hits Shane like 3 times, and Shane just falls backwards. Like, oh, you getting hit with a kendo stick makes you lose your grip and go, just fall 50 fucking feet? He fell backwards. Like, he just lets go. Like, my back hurts. And he fell at least 50 feet. How the hell? Dude, seriously, like, hit me as much as you want. I'm holding on to that shit for dear life.
You know what? I remember that vaguely. And he barely, like, tapped him, dude. He was, like, reached up, like, as if he was trying to, like, dust some fucking cobwebs. It's like,
He's like, you got something on your back, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, get that far. You're just like, oh. Weak spot.
He fell. It was just like, okay, so in movies, you hit somebody directly in the face, like in a good one, they stop for a second, and they just fall to the ground, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you stand perfectly still, they get the deer in the headlights look, and then they fall forward or backwards. They faint or whatever it is. That's how that was. He got hit in the back and went, ow. Just fucking fell.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, yeah, it was cool looking, but, I mean, thinking about it now, I'm like, that's fake as shit. And how much balls do you have to have as Shane McMahon to fall that far without turning around like, oh God, I would fucking do that. I would not be able to fall backwards 50 fucking feet and be okay with it.
That's probably why he didn't look. He was just like, okay, I know I'm high up. I'm getting hit right now. Well, I guess this is where it's happening. Ugh.
I think that...
Hope I don't die.
I think how they got away with that shit, with people falling and stuff like that from those kind of things, was they had those big bags that people jump out of burning buildings with underneath the stage. Like, they would have the cardboard or the stage stuff over it, and they'd fall, they'd hit that. Like, that's a pretty good idea, but I don't know, man. You gotta sell it more than that.
Right. Or some sort of, like, netting or some shit. I actually saw some disappointing video one time where I think it was actually... Dude, if I think about it, I think it was a Jeff Hardy-Randy Orton fight. And they were up towards the stage, and I think it was, I don't know what kind of fight it was, but fucking Randy was in some sort of container, like a dumpster or some shit, some sort of bin, and Jeff was climbing up some fucking thing, part of the stage, and he jumped off at some point, like really high up, doing a Jeff Hardy thing, and did a swanton into it, and... The camera does it from the side, so you just see Jeff Hardy swanton into it. You don't see the impact because the walls of like the dumpster or bin or whatever that's around him. But I saw a video on YouTube that like where somebody had gotten hold somehow of the overhead camera footage, and it clearly shows Jeff Hardy like land. Like here's Randy and Jeff Swanton's right here, and they're both on top of like a trapeze kind of net, like what you see in the circus. And they like bounce a little bit, and then all the audience like makes their commotion. They're just like, "Oh my God, he's dead!" And then
he's dead. He jumped 25 feet to safety. He's dead.
Everybody's like, "Oh my God, no! They're destroyed." Because I forgot how that match ended, but I don't think they got out of the dumpster. I think they took a long time to crawl out or some shit.
They're probably resting. Like Jeff Hardy's probably like, oh man, I gotta stop doing drugs. That climb was really heavy. Like that fucking climb was horrible.
That's what it's all about. See, they were lying at that net, just like, how long should we like milk this? Like, fuck, my back's a little tweaked. Give it like 5 more minutes, then we'll crawl out and I'll pin you or whatever the script says. And they're just like resting there, just like, man, I have to get off the drugs. And Randy's like, you do, man, you do. Like, promise me. I care about you, dude. I care about you. You promise me. Look me in the eye. Look at me, Jeff. Promise me you'll get off the drugs. And all this shit happened, and then Randy attacks him back, like, on stage, like, you promised me! But then he goes and tells the WWE Universe, is like, I've been here working my ass off for 16 blah, blah, blah years. Maybe it's because I don't change the color of my merch every week so that I'm not trying to steal more money out of you guys. Maybe it's because I've been here at the same business all these years and I'm not jumping back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's just like...
Oh, he went off on Jeff about that?
Yeah, I think it was actually one of those pipe bomb moments you were just talking about. Like, he just went out there. They were like, oh, we need an explanation of why Randy cost Jeff the United States Championship. Almost as if maybe it wasn't a scripted thing. And Randy went out there, and like I said, it was the only moment I liked out of the entire hour and a half worth of wrestling I've watched in the past couple weeks. Like, he went out there
It's probably because it was real.
That's what I was thinking.
Or it was... I don't know, it was more genuine, not necessarily real.
Yeah, I don't know how real it was, but it was definitely way more genuine. At least it came off genuine because it was based out of fact. Like, the shit he was talking about, I was just like, fuck, man, Randy Orton is really pissed off at Jeff Hardy and, like, really pissed off at the fan base for giving him so much credit. Like, yeah, I'd probably be pissed if I was Randy, too. Like, goddamn.
So, with that in mind, I feel like the only way, kind of back to the Me Too, really not even really back to the Me Too movement, just everything in general, I cannot be pandered to. I don't think anybody should ever be pandered to. With music, with, oh, you were sexually assaulted, here's a TV show about it. Here, have a pay-per-view, whatever. The only, they script an entire show. Dude, I can't even watch movies anymore. I really can't unless I've seen them before. And it's ridiculous, because movies are supposed to be scripted. You're supposed to just watch the story, and I'm like, everything's exactly the same. They're funneling people into one... Like, earlier you said in the car that people are complex. You're right, people are complicated, but they're trying to make it a hive mind where we all think the fucking same. We all like the same kind of music, or, they break it down into subgenres. Okay, this part of the country likes country. This part of the country mostly likes rap. This part over here likes rock. Or they just funnel us into these little fucking tubes. And then they say, okay, well, we can't make them all like the same thing, but look, we got groups now, and they're just slowly funneling us into other shit. And then they do it with, like, movies are all the fucking same. They all have the same conclusions, same peaks and valleys. There's nothing real anymore. So, when you watch wrestling, like, back in the day, it was all, none of it was scripted. I mean, I understand that you have to script some of it. There can't be no willy-nilly crazy, just... throwing haymakers every night. Let's see how this goes. But when this unscripted stuff, like the Randy Orton stuff, seems to sound like it was unscripted or it was just kind of real kind of shit, that's what works. That's what should get people's attention. But you pander to people, eventually people are going to get bored as fuck, or they're going to be really dumb and they've been pandered their entire life. They don't know that it's fake.
Exactly.
So, with all that shit in mind, with my huge old fucking setup, I took Anaya and Avery, Christina and I took Anaya and Avery to the circus once. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. And they do the Pledge of Allegiance. Or they do the...
At the circus?
Thank you. Yeah, they do the... They have people stand for the flag at the circus.
The fuck?
Which, I mean, I guess me saying it kind of weird like that is kind of like, oh, well, circus people aren't real people. But it's, why the fuck do you stand for the flag at the circus? I think it's weird. I've always thought it was weird that people stand for the flag at football games. Ever since 9/11, they've done it a lot more. They've fucking peppered in standing for the flag way more. Like, I would never It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, that's besides the point. So we're at the circus. And the entire time, I was hoping for something real to happen. When I say real, I don't mean like, one of the trapeze artists kicked one of the other trapeze artists, and they get in an argument, and like, hey, no, fuck you. Like, no, I've been doing this for 16 years, da-da-da-da. Like Randy Orton. I mean, like, there was this dude that got on this really big, like a giant-ass hamster wheel.
Uh-huh.
He got on that shit, and he was climbing, and he was running in it. And he's like, I'm going to do it on the top now. And they blindfolded him, and he's running on the top of this giant hamster wheel at the circus, blindfolded. And the whole time I had my fingers crossed going, please fall, please fall, please fall. I wanted this guy to fall and break his fucking neck and die. I had nothing against the dude. I wasn't wishing death upon him because I knew he's a piece of shit. I wanted to see something go unplanned.
Right.
Because that would have been awesome. Like, that's a thing to remember. Like what Jared says. Jared says he wants to give people a thing to remember in his shows. I wanted that. I wanted that moment that I could hold on to. Everybody be like, man, how was the circus? And if nothing happened, it was all right. Now I have this, it didn't happen, but I have a memory of wanting that to happen.
Yeah.
Something bad to happen. A lion going fucking crazy on somebody.
Exactly.
Jumping into the crowd, eating a child. I don't know. Some crazy shit that I would remember. It doesn't have to necessarily be grotesque or death, but it's something that was dramatic enough, completely unplanned, that it would be memorable. Memorable.
It's almost by making us more robotic factory line workers of a race. Or what I mean is, the more and more robotic in nature we act, like the more robotic we become over time, like as a race. That's what I meant to say. Like, we try so hard to be perfect, look perfect.
You do, I don't.
I would say the majority of people do their best to, or like, there's even a large majority, maybe not majority, but a large percentage of people who are all like, I don't care. But even those people still have their little things. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna not go outside to public in my PJs. Like, okay, I may not care, but fucking, I have some self-dignity or whatever. There's, people are just generally like, everyone has their hang-ups, their standards, or whatever, about what they would or wouldn't do, where they cross the line. And anyway, like, everyone tries to strive towards that, like, perfect being of, like, what, like, they don't want to ever be tempted towards any of those things they wouldn't want to do, and they don't want to ever make any mistakes. And everybody just tries so hard to just be in line at all times, whatever being in line means to them. And like, it's only during moments where we fall out of that, where we mistakenly get ripped out of our little robotic loops, like we trip on something on the sidewalk, or we stutter or something, that we have those quick little moments that's just like, oh, wow, I'm actually human. Who would have fucking thought?
That's actually, they put that shit in psychology books.
Yeah, you told me about it one time, which is actually what my thought process is dancing around right now, actually. You told me something like, it's when we don't do something robotic that, like, we laugh for some shit like that. I don't know.
People trip, and people, I don't know, like walking along, somebody trips. It was actually the example of tripping. Somebody trips and people laugh. Like, if I tripped, I mean, if I was a normal person, I guess, if I tripped and fell, I wouldn't laugh. Me, whether I fucking trip and stumble or I actually fall on my ass, I laugh every time. Like, I mean, if I slip on ice and fall on my ass, it takes me a second, because I go, fuck, that hurts, and then I start laughing.
Right.
But, yeah.
Same here.
I don't laugh because it happened. I laugh because, humiliating. kind of. But like I don't care. But yeah, it's when you do something that that's non-robotic, it's supposed to be funny. When you break the chain of command or whatever the fuck however you want to phrase it.
I've gotten to the point God damn it, I've gotten to that point now as well, and with every passing day, it's basically a matter of how better at it have I become. There's moments where there's some pretty serious things will happen, like some things that would normally really upset a person, and I'll just be like, fucking ones and zeros of my reality right now, or I can't help but just laugh because it's just something that doesn't usually happen. I'm like laughing simply at the fact that, oh, this is not my normal everyday routine. I'm actually being taken out of my comfort zone right now. How nice that I can have this experience. Yeah, it's not in my favor. Like, my elbow really fucking hurts right now, but hey, that's life. Like the time when last year, just after I'd moved in with Jared, actually, there was that time where I was running on E for way too fucking long, and I was going to go get some gas, but first I decided I would get some weed. And I was on the way to the dispensary, and I thought, well, there's a gas station literally right next door to the dispensary. I'll just get weed and gas at the same spot. I get about halfway there.
Oh, yep.
And my car breaks down in the middle of the road, right in front of a freeway entrance on a really popular road. I've got nobody to call because you don't have a car. Jared, I don't want to have to call anybody because that's the type of person I am. But I realize this is a situation where I have to ask for help, and I have nobody to ask for help. I do call Jared, but he's just I'm high. I don't want to drive, and I'm like, well, I get that. And so I'm just sitting there in my car, just watching all the passing traffic with my flashers on, just laughing like a maniac.
Yep.
Just this is my life.
Well, yeah, you can't say it to a victim though, because it was your own dumbass fault.
Right.
Quick thing, when we went floating, and my fat ass couldn't fucking stay on the goddamn inner tube. My fucking shorts were falling off my ass. My shirt was coming up to my fucking chest. There was hot chicks with tattoos floating by, and all I can think was, I couldn't even think. I was like, this is ridiculous. I was laughing my ass off. I was about to drown. Water's coming in my mouth because I'm laughing so fucking hard. Because I don't even think ones and zeros, oh, this is my life anymore. I go straight to laughter when anything fucking goes wrong or not according to plan. As much as, there was no chance I wasn't going to talk to those chicks anyway, but it's just kind of funny because, I don't know, people they don't get pictures on picture day because they have pimples. That's what that is to me. That's just a blemish on that day. Well, it's not a blemish because I think it's fucking hilarious. But if I didn't think the way I do now, I'd be like, oh my god, that ruined my whole day.
Right, to a normal person that would be a blemish.
Yeah. To me, no. I had no chance with those chicks. I wasn't going to talk to them anyway. We later talked to them anyway when they asked if we were the ones that lost a shoe, remember?
Oh, right, yeah.
And I went, no, that was last year. And they fucking laughed. Yeah, because I'm fat and funny. But, you remember when I used to drive without gas all the time because my fucking meter was broken?
No.
In the big-ass long boat.
The Oldsmobile?
I used to sleep in.
I don't remember that part of it.
Okay. You don't remember? Okay, I ran out of gas right at the exact time, and I just pulled into a fucking gas station.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Dude, you know how many times that happened?
That was perfect.
Yeah. He died, and we managed to coast right into a gas station. I never knew how much gas I had, ever. And it would just happen like that. This is fucking great. Yeah.
The fucking ones and zeros working out for you.